Building your own home or rental can literally make you a millionaire in less than 5 years.
Whether you build something as complex as this or simple like this,
Constructing your own home can be a phenomenal way of actually replacing your income.
building modern looking structures such as cabins, A-frames, or boxy designs with a view is the fastest way to have booked out calendars and generate 7 figures in equity and cash flows. Why? The major fortunes in America have been made in land. Tycoons such as Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie have been quoted on the fortunes made through land and real estate, such as, "More money has been made in real estate than in all industrial investments combined." This is because of many factors that you may already know of, but passive appreciation, cash flows, and federal tax benefits being the heavy hitters.
People forever need homes and shelter.
Unless we evolve some biological roof over our heads and an efficient climate control system.
The real value of any property is actually in the land itself, and the fact that permits have been pulled, utilities are in place, and that the home is already built.
What this means is when you add up the value of the actual materials, permits, and land costs, it shies in comparison to the actual market value by hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even millions. That difference in value created in the planning, design, labor, and your understanding of that market. Now, the intelligent investor or entrepreneur can even make that slice of the pie even larger for themselves if they design and build it wisely enough to factor in cash flows. This is where you make the bulk of your money. And this is exactly what big commercial and multifamily developers do. They know the cost of $100 million, 2, 3, 4, 5, even $1 billion project, income, and the end value all before committing. You can do the same with residential construction with far less upfront money, and honestly, a lot more simplicity. And that's why I created my Land Hacker program, where I show you how I built multiple income streams off of one property, navigate zoning, and then ultimately replace my day job with real estate. Now, we're enrolling right now, so you can go to my website, link down below, and set up a time to chat with me or someone on my team to see which program is the best fit for you. But even this is looking at it in just one dimension. There are 5 major factors that can make that $1 million payday a reality and what I call land hacking. The first on that list is being the 4 musts. The view. Want to fast track your way to 7 figures? Nothing does that faster than a $1 million view. It's easy to chase cheap land where homes are stacked one on top of another, but if you want to set yourself apart and make real money, start looking for a view. Second is uniqueness. This is an overplayed term in today's culture and social media, and literally having everything at our fingertips. But when it comes to real estate, still 90% of our homes look like this. And if there's one thing that I know about people, they love exclusivity and a way to stand out. Now, when I say unique, I don't mean design a home that looks like the architect or designer was on psychedelics, but instead choose a structure and design that typically is reserved for more elite type of builds. This means stepping away from the cookie cutter subdivision homes. Some of my favorites right now on land with views are more modern builds like A-frames, modern style homes and cabins, and then of course the treehouse. And if I'm really serious about making $1 million from my build, I won't go less than 2,000 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bath minimum. And that's because of number 3, resale value. In this goal to make over $1 million, we can't just build a dinky, unpermitted 200 square foot eclectic home. It must retain value and build appreciation. And this is where understanding the market comes into play and knowing our customer. And in this case, we have 2, the lender and the people who would buy the home if you ever decide to sell. You must design and build with both of these folks in mind. And then of course, number 4 is location. The coolest, most unique, highest quality home with a beautiful view in the wrong location could cost you everything and make you nothing. I call it my golden triangle method to find the best spots and areas, and in a nutshell, this is typically land or property sandwiched between a major city and major destination spot. I talk and teach this method in a lot more detail in my Land Hacker program. Again, go check it out, link down below. Now, when you combine all of this, view, uniqueness, resale value, and location, you're able to create an insane amount of equity and cash flows. Now, this is further magnified with the right zoning and permits if you're able to build or create multiple structures and build sites. Now, building is hard, and you may not know how to do it. Don't worry. I'm gonna break it down and give you a good jumping off point so you know where to start your research. Still don't believe me that you can make $1 million in less than 5 years by building your own places? Keep an eye on this guy right here. As I go through this video, this will track the expense of building out a property. Then at the end, it's going to show you the actual value created and how much is yours to keep. You may not know, unless you're in the building industry, but construction technology has advanced a lot in the past few decades, like insulated, waterproof sheathing being one of the latest. It's seriously phenomenal. This allows people like us to build even better homes easier, but it's also because of the availability of materials for us normies or folks who are not professional builders by trade. The Home Depots, Lowe's, and Menards have literally made construction as easy as going to the grocery store. There has also been a prolific amount of startups creating like 3D printed homes, modular homes, and even earth dwellings. And perhaps the even more popular resurgence of kit homes, where everything shows up on a flatbed truck and you follow instructions to literally hand build your own home. Fun fact, by the way, kit cars used to be a big thing where you literally build your own vehicle. Then there are other companies like Boxable that literally have full homes that unfold and are set up in a few minutes. And that's the second of the major factors why building can make you rich, is options and opportunities. Now, what I just shared with you about the different types of homes you can build today is just the tip of the iceberg in options. But even that is an overstatement. You see, when we build, we create the vision and strategy to make the most money possible. This takes into account the size, design, amenities, and the usage of the property, including how many structures you build. Remember, the more structures, typically, the more a property is worth. And if they're legal dwelling structures, it means even more. Now, whether you build it all at one time or slowly in phases, the options and opportunity is key here. You quite literally create money when you build. Stick to the end and I'll show you how you can even get that money completely tax-free. So when it comes to building a new home, whether it's 300 square feet or 3,000 square feet, the process is relatively the same. First is get funding. What you're looking for here is either a construction or rehab loan. You can even do a conventional loan if you have the ability to get one. We won't go too deep here, but definitely work with a mortgage broker rather than just a loan officer at a major bank. Two is finding and acquiring the land and property. Whether you use an online real estate platform like Zillow or Redfin, or you work with agents or wholesalers, you're looking for that right piece of land with the right zoning. Critical. Three, you decide on the structure type. Now, once you're at this stage, it's time to figure out what you want to build. The land in your budget will dictate the structure and size. In our example, right over here, it's a 2,500 square foot modern A-frame home. And then fourth, we gotta make a decision between builder or DIY. It's time to decide who's gonna actually do the construction. Is this going to be a DIY or hire a builder that does everything, or more of what I do on this channel that you see is more of a hybrid, where you do some of the work and then you subcontract out the rest? Now, I've done all three, and now I bounce back and forth between what I was just telling you, the hybrid, and just hiring a builder. If this is your first time and you're building a small kit home that's like maybe a couple hundred square feet, someone with some basic handyman skills can learn their way through the process, assuming that you have the time. Which leads us to the third major factor why building our own homes can make us rich: new skills. You acquire new skills that are applicable to life. Now, I get that you probably don't want to frame houses or navigate county guidelines and building permits for the rest of your life, but it's definitely a skill set that's very valuable to know when you're investing in new homes and managing other builds for future projects. The skills that I have built working and managing construction projects over the last decade makes me multiple six figures every year without having to actually swing a hammer. Now, here's an unsolicited life lesson. Grind to build valuable skills now that can be leveraged into easier cash flows in the future. And then fifth is to secure materials. If you have a builder, they'll take care of this for you, but if you're doing a kit home or a hybrid build, you'll have to figure this portion out on your own. Lumber yards, Lowe's, Home Depots are great places to start if you need to get materials or supplies. Six, permits. This is perhaps the most intimidating step for most, but just keep in mind there are really 5 key things that you need for building permits: a site plan, architectural design, structural engineer plans, geotech report. This is if the county requests it or needs it because you got slope land or something. And then utilities, perk test, well, and then access ways. And then 7th is break ground, start the build. Now, once you get your building permits, you go horizontal first, meaning access ways, utilities, all that good stuff that's in the ground. And then you go vertical, which is building the actual structures. Now, this difficulty and complexity changes a lot based on your method of construction. If you decide to use a kit home or it's a completely custom build with concrete and steel and wood. And that takes us to our 4th major factor of getting rich: building your own place. Instant and ongoing equity creation. Now, once you're done with construction, you will have created instantaneous equity once you receive your certificate of occupancy from the county. And in our situation right here, our build cost, including land, was about $256 per square foot. Doing a hybrid model where I did a very little bit of amount of work and then I subcontracted out the rest to do the majority of the work. The market value at completion is $360 a square foot, giving me an equity creation of just over $250,000 or $260,000. But the ongoing equity appreciation is where the real special thing is at. On average, if the property appreciates at 6% year over year, that means that my net worth continually goes up each and every year by about $54,000 doing nothing. And that number compounds. But here's the real way of making $1 million off one property. Supercharge your asset and cash flow it. Now, before you buy the land and start the build, you want to research and find the right property. Now, understanding this, you can build a property that rents out for like $500 a night and generates $12,000 to $15,000 a month. That's over $150,000 a year with one door. What happens if you built 2 more doors? How about 3, 4, 5? This is land hacking. Now, this would take a smaller initial investment compared to the main home, but it's plausible that 2 more doors created could generate an additional $100,000 a year. Now, your property generates roughly $250,000 a year, over $260,000 of instant equity creation, and $60,000 a year in appreciation year over year passively. And assuming that the total cost of the build is $800,000-ish, the real cash investment to me, or you in this situation, which is roughly 20% of the construction loan, is only about $200,000. Don't have $200,000? Do something smaller in an area that you can afford. Have more money? Do something bigger in an optimal area. The point is when you take on a build or a remodel project, you have the ability to make money all over the place. Want to know how to do this the correct way? Then join my Land Hacker and Inner Circle mentoring programs where you get to work directly with me and other people who are doing this exact thing. Set up a call with me or my team to see if it's a good fit for you. Link just down below. Now go watch this video right here where I show you the best areas to buy Airbnb properties. Love you all. Bye.